Hello. Are you experiencing that fear of losing control and of your mind, of your body, or all of yourself? Have you ever experienced that, or you might be experiencing that right now? So stay with me. I am a psychotherapist, and I am a alma pietra, and I do help children, adolescents, and adults. And I've been helping lots of clients with this situation of losing or afraid of losing control of of the body, mind, and sometimes all of it. And we need to remember that the fear of losing the control is a response. It's a process in your body that's happening because your nervous system is being activated, and it's very common. It happens when you are afraid of not being in control of your environment, not being in control of your thoughts, your mind, or your actions. And there is a spectrum with this, and I will tell you why. It can look like being oversensitive, extremely vigilant around everything, and constantly checking around, even if you walk outside. You're monitoring and you're checking any danger. It can be very overwhelming. But I'm going to explain because this is a process, and it's important for us to know first where this fear is coming from. Why do we experience this fear? So it's important to remember that this is a process we are having. It's a process that can happen, and that process starts in the nervous system because your nervous system is being activated. Your amygdala is being activated and is checking for any danger that you might be experiencing, and because of that you might be activated into fight-flight mode, where the body is ready to fight, to flight, to do whatever in terms of helping you, in terms of protecting you. So where that comes from your nervous system, and it's been activated. Something has happened to you that your body has been activated, your nervous system has been activated into that mode, and you're afraid of losing that control of something, because something is going to happen. You will not have control of your body, you will not have control of your mind, you will not have control of what is going on around you. It can also happen because you had experienced some kind of trauma, and that trauma it's there in your mind and in your subconscious, that something or some memory or something has triggered you, that you're afraid of losing that control of yourself. Now, remember, trauma can be from anything from one event to several events, and can be very chronic. But do remember, one event is enough to put you into that state of losing a control. Also, there has been some studies that suggest that the fear of losing control is because there is hormonal imbalances, especially for the hormone serotonin, which is produced in your gut, and this is extremely important. There was a study when it says that 90% of your serotonin is produced in your gut, and only 10% in your brain. This is you make the maths, and you ask yourself what is important. If it is produced in your gut, that means most of what we eat has a huge impact in our mental health. So also, it has been found that depression is linked to what you eat, and if you're having a very unhealthy diet, you're more likely to have some kind of mental health problems like depression, anxiety, and kind of something around those lines. And do remember that serotonin it's responsible for happiness, responsible for a sleep, responsible for a sexual activity, responsible for a hunger and body temperature. These are very important functions in our body. It means that if you have low serotonin, that means that your body is not working as it should be, which could also impact your mental health. So having the right diet is extremely important. Is extremely important for your mental health. Another reason you might be afraid of losing the control of yourself is because you are stressed and you are over stressed. You're just overdoing it. You're just overworking. You're just you're just dealing with so much right now. So it's very important to make a self-assessment and think what is going on for me right now. Am I too stressed? Am I eating right? Have I had some kind of experience in the past that I haven't dealt with yet? What's going on for me? Why am I afraid of losing this control? Losing control of yourself, if that's afraid, this fear of losing control is very linked to mental health, and it's very common. I have seen this in many clients who are afraid of being not being aware, not being in control of the mind, not being in control of the body, and losing completely. It can be linked to anxiety, it can be linked to panic attacks, it can be linked to OCD because you have no control of what or these obsessive thoughts. I remember obsessive thoughts about germs, about food, about people, about anything. So you just cannot control your mind. This PTSD, schizophrenia with different thoughts coming in and different, you might be hearing different thinking, different voices, different people in your mind, you might be seeing things, hearing things. So it can also be frightening to lose control of that, of your mind. And bipolar personality disorder, again, is because you're afraid of having or losing your whole self and having a psychotic episode. So I had clients who had a psychotic episode and they end up in a psychiatric ward because, they were on not taking medication or something has triggered that psychotic episode. After my client was extremely afraid of being on the street because she was afraid of having a panic attack. Now, it's important in most of the mental health problems, there will be some frightening feeling of you having to experience this again, even if you had experienced trauma. So it's important to get support as soon as possible. It's important to talk to someone. It's important to ask for help and sort this out and deal with this as soon as possible so you can get the resources that you need to manage this. What you could do to help yourself, you could get support as soon as possible, and remember to get psychotherapy support, not counseling, because counseling is only talking. We are more trained to help you, to help with this, to get deeper issues, especially if you have a child or adolescent and you want to be seen, you want them to be seen by a professional who are actually going to help you. Accepting the emotion that you're having, so you don't have this fight within yourself of not knowing and not wanting to feel this feeling, especially fear or anger or anything like that. So name the feeling and let that feeling happen. However, it can be difficult and you might need help with this. Breathing, you can also practice some breathing, some mindfulness, some dancing, some diary or writing or talking to someone, very important, and sharing what you're going through. Religion, very important. It is being shown by studies that religion can activate, when you pray, can activate the same areas of your brain as when you meditate. So religion could be also very important. However, I still emphasize that you need to get psychotherapy support. You will not be able to manage this by yourself. And getting the right food, as we talk. Exercise, very important, helps you it improves your blood circulations, reduce your cortisol, and also can help you with a few mental health problems like depression. It has been shown that depression can be helped with exercise. So good thing, you need to remember that. Anti-healthy diet, as we talk about serotonin that is produced in your stomach. So it's been shown that your gut is extremely important. So if you want to have a healthy mental health, do get the right food. Now, for children and adolescents, and if you're a parent, and if you're seeing that the child is just losing control of, it's so frightening, remember that the fear of losing control is they're not aware of it. They're still learning how to manage your body. They're still learning how to manage emotions. So it's more like a feeling of something bad is going to happen. And this could be an illness, could be, a vomiting, or could be they're afraid of having the going to places, or they're afraid of going to sleep, because then what's going to happen? So in their mind, something bad is going to happen if you have a young child. So do get help as soon as possible for this. And again, I emphasize, get a child psychotherapist registered with UKCP, more important, or BACP, but a psychotherapist. However, when with young children, if you're around 10, 11, just be aware that they can start developing some kind of mental health, especially anxiety or panic attacks, or even depression. But I have seen also some kind of behavioral, emotional symptoms with younger kids, where they either engage in aggression or they engage in behavioral problems where they are just out of control. So get help as soon as possible if you're seeing this in your child. In adolescents, again, they're more likely to engage in behaviors that are just, if they feel that they're more aware of having control of the body. However, they might try to control that to control that fear by engaging in activities that are not helpful, like say harming or addictions, or being aggressive, or really just out of control. So, and they might have also social difficulties. So being aware of this, and if you have an adolescent, it's important to get again the support as soon as possible, because it can deteriorate and it can become worse. So here it is. If you have any questions, do let me know, and I will be happy to answer your questions. And I hope this helps. And also, do join me on my Instagram, and I have a TikTok as well, where I do every 2 weeks I do a live event. So I will be happy to answer questions. And if you have, please do send them to my mobile or an email as well. And if you need help and you want to see my professional, please do contact me. I am a psychotherapist, and I do see children, adolescents, and adults. So all the best, and I hope this helps.